Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Friends Datuk and Tan Sri, ladies and gentlemen, Friday, November the 9th, 20112 contribution to Pearls and Jam. Case history, the good, the bad and the ugly. What a day today. I'm on call for the hospital covering all cardiological admissions after office hours till 8 a.m. tomorrow, meaning all cardiological emergencies and referral still very high on adrenaline at 2 a.m., especially after the last primary infarct angioplasty, which I had just now. I could not sleep. The day started very well at 6 a.m. after Fajar prayer. Did a short surf on the internet, just lurking around and reading my mails, etc., before coming to work. Came across a wonderful, already dated YouTube presentation from Down Under. Very happy to note that my fellow endurance competitor, Matt Wade, four-time Torn Quality champion, and several consistent top 10s at world level, recovering very well from her near-fatal equestrian brain injuries accident sustained after a fall in mid-2009 in local 160-kilometer ride in Australia, which actually can happen to anyone competing at any level in that crazy but self-enduring sport. Matt Wade, the top rider in the world, following and replacing the footsteps of the legendary aging Miss Valerie Canavy of USA, the undisputed endurance queen of the early and mid-2000s. They share the same common denominator. They eat, sleep and breathe equine. Canavy is born into old money in Vermont, USA, with acres and acres of farmland ideal for endurance. Matt Wade used to fly her own helicopter to keep track of her farmland herds in northern Victoria, Down Under, and also look after the equestrian interests of Sheikh Maktoum, Down Under. Matt Wade and myself, we went a long way together even though we did not know each other personally. I first competed with her in the World Equestrian 160-kilometer championship in Dubai in 1998, myself riding an X-Race thoroughbred, Boss, very much a rookie at that time. Then again at Canberra Open FEI 120 kilometers in 2002, where she was very fast. She was a very fast first, and myself just completed at 9th position. And another event locally in Putrajaya over 80 kilometers in 2012, a small event for her presumably, again in the World Equestrian Endurance Game at Harrow, Spain in 2003. I think she was top 10 at that game. I was around number 40 in a field of 200 horses when my French mount, Floyd, a lease horse from France, collapsed at the penultimate round of a total of 7 round spaces of riding. Exhaustion plus, camouflaged by massive herbal antidote given by my French handlers. I had on board a heart rate monitor on Floyd, and he was looking good all the time, cardiovascular wise. I was too polite to tell the FEI people about the herbal thing given to Floyd at every stop, at every rest stop, and thus was made to be a pariah in the international endurance scene for presumably pushing the horse too far. Horse death in the sport, especially at this level of competition, is taboo, despite everyone wanting to do their best. A paradox. I was exonerated a year later by the Secretary General of FEI himself, Mr. Michael Stone. The French equestrian people, of course, went ballistic, and the press had a field day on me for weeks after the event. Lucky I don't read French, but looking back, it is all worth it. I lost face for a year, or at the most 2. The lady owner and her husband lost a horse for her own naivety and mistaken belief that things herbal are okay and cause no harm. My disclosure at that time would have caused her more pain. I can handle my pain, but was not sure it is fair that she should have a share of it at that point in time. Time is a great healer anyway. But this is a digression. Back to my clinic. By mid-morning, my operation clinic was full, and I was in the thick of things. I saw a young Malay chap, just 34, obese plus, who came in with classic angina, with a total cholesterol of 9.3 millimole, very high. Stress test is positive. He needed admission right away for a coronary angiogram to get a roadmap of his coronaries plus minus angioplasty plus minus ad hoc stenting. An angiogram was found to have a left main stem lesion. We plumbers, whenever we see a left main stem on the screen, would say a little prayer of, "Oh my God, let me finish this study without mission." If a left main stem blocked 100% acutely, it would mean instant death for any individual. And an occasional left main stem do get disrupted occasionally during even an angiogram study. And a young man in my book will be scheduled for bypass surgery soon. It's not often now that we send our patient for bypass surgery, given that stands and equipment for angioplasty are becoming better and better with times and techniques. Times and techniques have improved by leaps and bounds, making cardiac surgery in most cases almost unnecessary. From the standpoint of bypass surgery, is fast becoming a sunset profession the world over. Only valve operation remain their last bastion, and even that is going the endoluminal way as cardiologists are invading into their turf with new valves. I empathize with my surgical colleagues, but the problem facing cardiac surgeons all over the world is monumental and fundamental at the same time. While in cardiac surgery especially, they basically have only their pairs of excellent hands and skill to depend on. We cardiologists have a myriad of people and new tools to play with: bioengineers, geneticists, neuroscience, and the whole gamut of the fast-moving pharmaceutical industries and free enterprise are all behind us. It's not a level playing field, certainly. Having said that, left main stem is still, in 2012, at least in my book, a surgical animal in most countries except Japan and Korea. I refer patients for surgery even at 34 without having to think long and hard about it. I belong to the conservative, very old British school of thinking. My patients oftentimes ask me why we Malaysian cardiologists do not follow the Japanese or the Korean way and do more left main stem cases, apart from the occasional ones during dire emergencies. I'll always have to tell them my favorite story. That in Japan, if a patient dies on the table after a difficult left main stem procedure, the professor can be assured that the next day, the late patient's son or daughter will be queuing dutifully in the professor's outpatient clinic or office with a bouquet of flowers for him and some form of profuse apology to the effect. "So I'm sorry my late dad gave you a lot of trouble," etc. and etc. Elsewhere in the world, including ours, we may be lucky to escape with a very hot lawyer's letter, fishing for detail and whatnot. Time has changed. At 10:30 p.m., I get called again to see a 43-year-old Chinese gentleman with sudden onset central chest pain and profuse sweating plus. He was drenched in sweat when I saw him, his EKG showing an acute phase of an incoming massive anterior infarct. That is a heart attack affecting the front part of the heart due to 100% blockage arising from a plaque rupture. And ECG changes of 5 mm ST depression in all anterior leads. Very angry looking and threatening ECG indeed. No time to waste. His lungs were getting wet by the minutes, every minute and second count. He was brought straight to the cath lab, and our emergency team alerted for a salvage emergency procedure. We must get a road map of these blocked arteries and started from there. Surgery is out of question. They are slow animals as far as we are concerned. In this situation, at angio I nearly died. I found out he had an acute left midstem total occlusion. Oh my God, seconds count now. I could not cross his acute occlusion with my guide wire. Pulmonary edema sets in very fast, breathing difficulty, then slow rhythm, followed by very fast no rhythm, then ventricular fibrillation. That is a cardiac arrest. When things like this happen, they happen very fast. No time to stand and stare. Patients succumb on the table at around 1 a.m. despite more than 1 hour of resuscitation. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. From him we come, to him we return. Postscript. Now in 2023, left midstem with multi-vessel angioplasty and stenting are very commonplace. The Park brothers of Korea have, for the past 3 decades over, shown the world that it is safely doable with comparable results. The West, American, French, European, and British were initially slow to catch up, but by now, left midstem stenting and angioplasty are acceptable everywhere. From my personal perspective, more than 50% of the cases that I sent for bypass surgery in the past, by present day doability and good result status, I would angioplasty and put in a stent. Such is progress in stents and stent delivery. That 34-year-old in 2012 that I sent to bypass surgery, in 2023 I would have easily stented with equally good long-term result.